Welcome back to No Man's Sky. Jason here, hiding in my hole because the planet's trying to kill me. This is our fugitive run. In the last episode, we were looking for a ship. I was talking about a potential No Man's Sky update, and I almost got murdered by this mountain. So we're gonna try to do that again. So hopefully you guys are liking the series. I'm excited for it. I mean, we're still, continuing on from the last episode, we're still waiting for that new No Man's Sky update, as far as I know. Now, to be fair to No Man's Sky, oh my god, I can't even climb up this. To be fair to No Man's Sky, I do record these ahead of time. So, if you are reading about a No Man's Sky update, just let future Jason know that his video sucks. It's wrong. Make sure to leave a comment. I know you are anyway. Make sure to leave a comment telling me that there's an update right now. Yes, thank you. I recorded this before. Oh, that is always my fear whenever I make these videos. Like, I didn't even want to make a Fugitive Run series because I was thinking about it like, oh, you know what? It's been a while since I've done one. I want to do like a no starter ship challenge or a fugitive run or something cool because I've been missing doing that. However, I know that as soon as I start a fugitive run or something like that, there's going to be an update that changes things in the game, and I'm going to have to stop this run because something's different or broken or whatever. Or I'm going to have to cut videos for the new update, and so this video or this series is going to have to be put on hold. So I'm always nervous about doing that. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna run into that problem. So I said, screw it, let's do it anyway. So yeah, if you guys see this in the future, and I know you watch it a year from now, of course there's been an update. I'm talking to all you cool people who watch this like the first day or two that it comes out. Oh, but yeah, it is going into December. And just to put in my thoughts in video form, I guess, I don't know what the heck is going on. Like, this whole year, 2023 has been so weird for No Man's Sky. Like, we've gotten updates, but they've been, hey, here's the Mac update, so it has some things for you, but not really. It's mostly about working on the Mac, or here's the PSVR version, or whatever. So we've gotten a lot of updates, but they've not all been for everyone. And I mean, and to be fair to them, we just got the Echoes update in August, and that was a massive update. We have a new race of aliens in the game, a new language. We got staffs or staves, if you want to be like English correct. So we have all of that stuff, and it was good. But I mean, it just felt kind of like off. Like, I don't know, like the updates have been slower than usual, like they're behind schedule, quote unquote. Now there's no rule, there's no like, oh, it has to be every 60 days on the dot, but they've taken longer than usual, and so it feels like they're behind schedule. And then even when the updates come out, they're more buggy than usual. There's more people saying, hey, look, my Xbox One version's broken, or the Switch version isn't working, my save is corrupted, or the PS5 version, or the PS4, So there's way more people vocalizing, at least in my comment section and to me on streams, saying, hey, look, it's broken for me. I'd love to play it, but I can't. Or I tried to load up my save, and it's just not working. So it's just felt like a weird year. So I don't know what that explanation is. In my brain, it means that the game is getting more difficult to program and to code for because they are doing it for multiple different platforms now. Now they don't just have the Xbox and PlayStation versions. They have a Xbox One version. They have a PS4, PS5 version. They have all these different versions of the game. So it's not just, oh god, we need to program the whatever, oh Jesus, I'm gonna die. I'm going to die. There's a cave over here. You better be a cave. I swear you better be a cave. You are just a hole in the ground. All right. We gotta prolong our Oh, good lord. Yeah, one more hit and I'm gonna die. So we're gonna prolong our death. Now, if you find a subterranean relic or nothing... Oh, Jesus. We're not gonna find anything, are we? If we find a subterranean relic, that means there's a cave around here. I don't see one. I don't see a subterranean relic. I don't see any kind of... I see animals down there. Is that... How's that possible? Is this a cave and I just don't see any? No, that's bedrock. You can't go any lower than this. Anyway, I don't even know what I was saying. I'm freaking out. My brain is not working because I don't want to lose this. I literally just started. I just started episode 2. Don't do this to me. Can I make a battery? I cannot. I don't have any. I don't have anything to make a battery with. What is this? Life support. Well, that's great. I wish I would have grabbed some food for my hazard protection. Oh, anyway, as I was saying with the updates, I don't know if they're either it's just too difficult because they have different versions now, like a lot of different versions, not just an one-to-one like Xbox or PlayStation. Okay. At least my shield is recharging now, thank God. Oh, and oh, wait a minute, where am I next to a cave? Because now all of a sudden I'm recharging. So if you're next to a cave, it'll recharge. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, this is where the cave is, because you see how now my my hazard protection is going back up again? You can only get that in a natural cave. Like, if you know, notice how when I was over here, nothing. It's just staying still. 23% or 22 technically. 24. Oh, now it's still going up. It's just going up slower. And now this is all smooth. All right. Now it's going up a lot. 44, 35, 37. Okay. Anyway, so there's multiple versions, and I've heard that it is a nightmare when you have that kind of stuff, and you need teams of people dedicated to testing it, but also to program for it, because in order to adjust the textures on PlayStation, it's going to be different than adjusting the textures on Xbox or the Switch or whatever. And so I think that is what we're seeing on the outside, is that the updates are taking a little bit longer to do, or they're more buggy because they're running into issues of, hey, look, you know, we only have so many people and we don't have enough time. So that's what I think they're running into. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Maybe this is like the plan, or maybe they're distracted by something else. They do have another game, like we talked about in the last episode. They do have another game that they're making. Maybe they're doing stuff for that game. Like maybe they have to go get it if they're getting it licensed or whatever. Or not licensed, I should say. Maybe they're getting it rated. So you have to deliver your copy, the version of the game that you're going to release to the platform, to Xbox, to PlayStation, to Nintendo, or whatever, wherever you're putting it. And have them rate it to make sure, oh yeah, this is a T for teen or a mature game or whatever, and they have to play test it, make sure it doesn't break the Xbox if they load it up or whatever. It's not gonna melt your PlayStation if you try to play it there. So there's that aspect of it. I don't know. I have no idea. And then when it comes to what we can think of as an update, like what do I think? Are they going to add to the game? I have no idea. So for the last, like, probably year or two, maybe since 2021, 2022-ish, I've looked at it and I said, okay, I can't think of what's possible in the game. Now, there's that list of everything you want from the game. I would love ship customization. Do I think it's ever actually going to happen? No, probably not, because that's not how the game works. So No Man's Sky itself doesn't have that kind of ability as far as I can tell. Maybe there is, and I don't know. Maybe they were testing it with the staff creation, because now you build your own staff. So maybe they were testing it with that just to see, because that's a limited version of customization. You put in a staff head, a staff pole, and a handle. You get 3 pieces that you can choose from. So it's not like you can build the whole thing from scratch or whatever. And so maybe that's their testing and they're going to do that. I don't know. But it doesn't feel like that's a realistic goal to have, or an expectation. So that's why, yeah, I mean, you could say all of that, and I would love to see that kind of stuff, but I don't expect that to happen. What, you know, if I have realistic expectations, I don't know what they can add. I mean, what else do you want? I mean, I don't know. Because there is also the other side of that coin is you fall into the trap of like Destiny 2. Destiny 2 started off as an amazing game. When it first released, I was impressed, loved it, great, whatever. And because they wanted to make that game be the game, that's their game for the next 10 years, they've been just shoveling a whole bunch of DLC on top of it. And the game just cannot hold it. Like, to the point where they have to get rid of older DLC to make room for new DLC because the game file would be too massive. That's when you're like, okay, guys, you need to stop making content for Destiny 2 and let's do Destiny 3 or whatever your next game is, because this is obviously when you have to remove content, when you have to take away stuff to make room for the new stuff. That's no, you have to make a sequel at that point, right? I mean, what are you doing? And I'm afraid we're going to hit that point with No Man's Sky, because I feel like Hello Games, they are, to a fault, they are adding more and more stuff to the game, which I love, but now we're starting to see the game, it can't perform as good as it used to because there's so much here. Like, for instance, they added in the Corrupted Sentinels, the purple crystals, and it feels like when they did that, the draw distance got worse. So now the game can't do a good draw distance because it has to draw in so much stuff. Like, it has so much to do that it's just not fast enough. The frame rate is getting worse. And it's not even because of performance or anything like that. Like, not even, I shouldn't say performance. It's not due to power. Because I look at my PC and the game is not taking more power than it used to. It feels like it's self-limited. Like, the game engine itself can only use so much power. And when you have a limited game engine, you can only pull so much. It's like driving a car and you're stuck in second gear. Even though the engine is super powerful, you're in a Lamborghini, you're only in second gear and you can never ever shift out of it. So you can keep adding more, like keep hitting the gas, trying to make it go faster, but nothing's gonna happen with it. And I feel like that's what we're running into, is that they're adding all this cool stuff on top of everything else, but you're just shoveling a whole bunch of cool content on top of other content, and the game engine itself just cannot do it. It's like it's running as hard and as fast as it possibly can, but there's no way that you're going to be able to get the performance or the frame rate, whatever, out of it the same way. And so that's when I'm like, yeah, kid, I mean, I would love all these cool things, but maybe that goes into a sequel. Maybe that goes into No Man's Sky 2 or their next game that's like a spiritual successor or whatever. We don't know what the next game is going to be. We don't know. We know that they're working on it, and that's it. So whether it's like, it could be Joe Danger the sequel for all we know. I don't think they're going to go back to Joe Danger, but you never know because we have no idea. Sean Murray, nobody from the Hello Games office has specified what it is. So could it be a Joe Danger sequel? Possibly. Possibly. That is totally possible. Do I think it's a Joe Danger sequel? No, I don't think so. Not at all. I think that they're going to do something similar to No Man's Sky because they've devoted so much time, effort, and energy to No Man's Sky. They know how it works. They have a community built around this kind of a game. And so it would be the same as Rockstar. They're coming out with Grand Theft Auto 6. If they came out and said, you know what? This whole open world, immersive gameplay stuff? Nah, we're not going to do that. We're going to start making soccer games, everybody. Everyone would be like, what? Wait, what? You're making soccer games now? It would be a weird departure. It's not saying that it's not possible, but it would be a weird, like, You had so much success and you built your community around your Grand Theft Auto series, but now you're gonna do soccer games or whatever, you know, so pick any random game that's not Grand Theft Auto. You know, and you can say, oh, they did Red Dead Redemption. That's the same kind of element. They've been making the same type of game. So maybe that's what we see. We don't see it's not No Man's Sky, but it's something similar. So it has the same atmosphere, the same exploration, but it's like the Red Dead Redemption version of No Man's Sky. It's Old West or old, I don't even know. Maybe, you know, they make a medieval game instead of a space game because they want to go with the full opposite. It's not a futuristic game. It's an old medieval, like dragons and big castles and stuff. So I think that is what they're gonna do. Not, you know, it's not. Well, I think, believe I can't remember what interview Sean Murray did, but it was like a couple years ago. They asked him like straight up, "Are you making a No Man's Sky sequel?" And he said, "No, absolutely not. We're not making a sequel. We're not making a No Man's Sky 2 or whatever. It's gonna be a new game." And so I'm thinking, okay, not a No Man's Sky 2, but it would be like the example I just said. It's going to be like going from Grand Theft Auto to Red Dead Redemption. Is Red Dead Redemption the same thing as Grand Theft Auto? No. But it has a lot of, they share the same kind of feeling about it. They're both open world action games that have very, very similar mechanics with them. You know, you're not driving a car like Grand Theft Auto, but you're riding a horse. You know, you're still interacting. You still have weapons. You know, they're very, very similar. It's like a skin on Grand Theft Auto. And I feel like that is what we're gonna see from them next. Is gonna be, it's not really No Man's Sky, but it's very similar. It's basically No Man's Sky with a skin on it. And I can appreciate that. I mean, that's what they're known for. So why mess that up? Why go a whole different route? So, and I think that they're going to take their experience, their 7 years, 8 years at this point almost, experience with No Man's Sky, because now they know, oh, everyone asked for this one feature, and then when we gave it to them, nobody used it. So, I mean, everyone's going to complain and moan about it, but no one cares about it, because obviously they don't care. We put it in there, and no one even used it. Or, you know like their multiplayer. I feel like they wanted, everyone complained about multiplayer. They put multiplayer in the game because when No Man's Sky launched in 2016, there was zero multiplayer at all. And then everyone complained like, oh, there's no multiplayer. That kind of sucks. I wish there was multiplayer. So they did. They threw in multiplayer, and then they went over the top. They went, oh, at first it was 4-player multiplayer. And then it went up to, I believe, 12, and then they went to 32. And it was like, holy cow, okay, they went all in on multiplayer. And now, you know, 2023 No Man's Sky multiplayer is very finicky. There's a lot of bugs in it. It doesn't work all the time. You get glitched out. It causes problems in the normal game. Like if you have multiplayer turned on, you'll know that, you know, you're going to run into bugs. Things are going to glitch out, and it's only because multiplayer is turned on. So I think that they're going to take that and say, okay, if we do a multiplayer, which is fine, we're going to be very limited. It's not going to be 32 or 64 player multiplayer. It's going to be 12 or 8 or whatever. It's going to be a low number of multiplayer. You know, that way they can kind of control it and not be all crazy about it. Or maybe they don't even do multiplayer. Maybe they say, hey, look, we tried it. No one really uses it. I mean, you guys trade ships and stuff, but no one's out here doing all the stuff we thought they were going to do. So instead of doing a interactive multiplayer, we're just going to do the, hey, you can scan stuff and upload it to the cloud or whatever. And you can name things. Like, that's a very cool feature that a lot of people like. But the other side of that coin is, how many times have you run into a planet or a system that someone else found? It's hard unless you intentionally go there. Like, if you just load up a random save like I'm doing right now. I loaded up on a brand new save, and I'm not going to run into anybody's planet or anything like that, anything that's anyone found, because there's so many planets that you're never gonna see unless you intentionally go somewhere, or by random happen chance, because it's been, or happenstance, I guess, because it's been 7 years now of 7 years of people looking for and naming planets and stuff like that, yeah, eventually you will now. But when the game first came out, there was no way. You would have to, it would be years and years. Anyway. Oh yeah, I don't have enough. Well, that's great. All right. Well, we have enough to fix our hyperdrive when we get a ship. Anyway. If I had to make a bet, I feel like this year has been weird for updates simply because they bit off more than they can chew. They're trying to keep up with too many platforms, and now they've learned their lesson, I hope. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're like, whoa. I mean, it's cool that we have No Man's Sky on all these platforms and more people can play it than ever, but it's just so much work. Either we need to hire more people to keep up with this, or we should just limit it and say, look, we love, you know, the Nintendo Switch. We love the, we don't need that. We love all these platforms, you know, the Xbox One, the PS4, but there needs to be a cutoff. And we've reached that point. So we're going to say thank you, but we got to go. And I mean, I don't know. Let me know down in those comments. Would you be upset if they came out next week and said, look, guys, we love you guys. We appreciate everyone who bought No Man's Sky and who's playing No Man's Sky right now. However, starting in 2024, we will not put any more updates out for the Nintendo Switch, the PS4, and the Xbox One. You know, we have to cut off some of these consoles because, number one, they're not powerful enough, so we are stretching them out to the limits on what they can do power-wise. But number two, we can't keep up with this many platforms. We love you guys, but it's not fair to everyone that we have to, we're sacrificing everything on every platform, you know, because we can't pay attention to everything. So there's more bugs on this one or that one or whatever. So instead, we want to give our full attention to the more modern consoles. PC, of course, because you can always update that. But also your Xbox Series X and your PlayStation 5. I don't know. How would you guys feel about that? Would you be upset? How many of you play on an older hardware? I don't know. I mean, maybe you know what? I'm gonna probably do a poll on that. So if you see a poll on the channel, vote in the poll. I want to see how many people play on older platforms, because maybe there's a lot of people there and I just don't know. No Man's Sky, you know, Hello Games knows. They can see all that stuff. They can know how many people are playing on every platform. They know how many copies they sold, how many people are logging in to update their planets on each platform and stuff. So they probably see it and they're like, hey, you know, we would, but hey, everyone plays on the you know, PlayStation 4 or whatever. That could be the possibility. I just don't see that many people, and it could be my limited you know, audience. I don't have millions of people watching and playing and interacting with me, so I have no idea, you know, or how many people even watch YouTube videos who play the game. Maybe there's a whole bunch of people who play on the Nintendo Switch and they never watch anything on YouTube, so I have no idea, so I never hear from them. It's my gut feeling that, you know, they wanted to release the Mac version. How many people play on the Mac? It sounds great. It's like, oh yeah, more versions of the game is great, but how many people are there? And I mean, not saying that nobody's worth it, you know, or whatever, you know, not saying that one platform is better than the other, because it's not. I think every platform is its own thing. However, you know, when you're developing a game, you can't say, well, everyone's playing on the Atari 2600, so we better ship it on that. Well, maybe not. We have to continue our support for the Xbox 360 and the PS3 version. Maybe not. I mean, I appreciate those and I love those, and I know people are playing still on those platforms, but maybe we should let it go. Am I there? Oh, 4%. Well, let's do this. So yeah, that's just, I mean, and maybe I'm wrong. Again, I have no idea. I don't know the numbers, so I have no idea. But I can see, you know, playing over years and years and years, you see how the game, it ran smoother. I mean, and to be fair, it had less things in it. Like, they didn't have as much content. We've had multiple years of adding features to the game, which is great. But you know, 2018 No Man's Sky ran a whole lot smoother. The load draw distance was a whole lot better. multiplayer ran a whole lot cleaner compared to 2023. And whether that's into the game engine just not being able to support it, or they are spread too thin and they just can't do bug testing like they used to, I don't know. I see the symptoms. I don't know what the cause is. Let's make some of these. Then we have enough. I think we're good. We have 25. But just in case. So yeah, that's why, I mean, if I had to pick, I would say Hello Games. If Sean Murray asked me today, right now, he said, Jason, this is what we're thinking. We have this other game we're working on, and we also want to do a whole bunch of stuff for No Man's Sky, but we cannot do both because we're spread too thin and there's not a lot of us. What do we pick? I would tell him right now, you need to come out and say, thank you so much. We think we've gotten to a point where we're happy with No Man's Sky. It's never finished. We always would love to add more, but we're shifting our focus to our next game. And we will always continue to support No Man's Sky. We will make sure that you guys are going to get more content here, but it's not going to be at the steady rate that you're used to getting. Not every couple of months. It might be once a year. We're going to pump out some cool stuff for you, but our main focus is on our new game. And this is our new game. Ta-da! I would tell them that 100%. Because, and I mean, for me personally, they have fulfilled what they said they were going to do. Not 100%. There's a lot of stuff that they were talking about. Sean Murray was doing interviews, and he said, oh, yeah, we're going to have this feature and that feature and all this and that. And I think that they had that idea. They wanted that idea. But as they made the game, they realized, oh, that's not going to work in the game. You know, like you think it's a smart idea or a fun idea, and then you sit down and play it, and you're like, actually, this is not that fun, or this is not going to work, or it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. Our game game engine won't allow it to happen. So I wish we could. And so for me, they've had 7 years of full-on support of the game. They've more than made up for the launch of No Man's Sky. Maybe not perfect, maybe not 100% like everything that we've ever dreamed of and said is in the game, but man, they've done an amazing job with the game so far. And I would not be upset if they said, look, we're moving on to our next game, guys. Thank you so much for supporting No Man's Sky for 7 years. Here's our next game, and we hope you support us there. I would be there in a heartbeat. I will buy that. I will pre-order that game without any reservations. And I usually tell people, look, don't pre-order the game, because you use No Man's Sky as the example. You know, don't pre-order it because it was bad on launch day. But Cyberpunk, same thing. Jedi Survivor, same thing. There's so many games that we've seen that come out and that are just not finished, or performance is bad or whatever. So you should never pre-order a game unless you're really, really excited and you can't help yourself. I mean, I'm not your dad. I'm not going to tell you what you have to do or not do, but I would always say don't do it. You know, watch YouTubers, whoever you trust, play the game first or give you their opinions on it. Because, you know, somebody might love the game and, you know, I might not like it. So I'm not going to follow their advice because they like different games than me. Doesn't mean they're wrong. I know a lot of people were not happy with Starfield. I love Starfield still. I love Starfield. I play Starfield. But some people were like, they felt burned by it. Like, it's not what I wanted. And it's like, okay, I can see that. It's not perfect. It's not the game for everyone, but it's a Bethesda game. You know, as time has gone on, I've kind of cooled off on Starfield. I still like Oblivion. You guys know I talk about Oblivion all the time. I still think Oblivion is peak Bethesda. I think that is like the perfect game that they've ever, you know, the best game they've ever made, even with all the flaws in the leveling system. I know. But I love that game. The music, I went back and played it the other day. The music is so phenomenal in Oblivion. It's crazy. But all that being said, I think that Starfield is a very good game. Not perfect, not great. Very good. If I had to tier it out, it would be Oblivion number 1, Skyrim number 2, Starfield maybe number 3 or 4. And then, you know, like, I know that they didn't do it. I know you guys, some of you guys caught that, and I was doing it on purpose. Fallout New Vegas would be in there. I know that's Obsidian. I know. But if you're going to go with that kind of a gameplay loop, like, I mean, I would put in Outer Worlds is up there as well. I love Outer Worlds too. But yeah, so something like that. I wouldn't put Starfield at the top of the list of Bethesda games. Not as amped up as I was when it first comes out, because you know it's a brand new game. But I still think it's a good game. I would still say it's a good game. It's top 10 list for me. Maybe not for Jeff or whoever is doing the game awards, but I think it's in the top 10 game of the year list. I don't think it wins. I don't think at the end of the day when I sit down and look at that list, I don't think it wins. But it's up there. And so it's just like, I don't even know how we started talking about Starfield. I'm rambling. Sorry, guys. I am rambling about stuff. I'm getting to be an old man. I just got to tell you guys all my stories. Anyway, when it comes to No Man's Sky, I hope that they take the love and the care that they've used for No Man's Sky and they put that in their next game, whatever that happens to be. And they give us all of that stuff. And seriously, I feel a little bit bad now because it feels like Hello Games, Sean Murray, the people who make No Man's Sky, they felt so bad about the launch of No Man's Sky that they've been trying to make it up for 7 years. And it's like that. It's like your significant other when they make a mistake and they keep saying sorry, and you're like, look, okay, I get it. I appreciate it. I love you still. I get it. You know, I was mad at the time. And you said sorry, but now it's 7 years later, and you keep saying sorry. It's good. You're good. You've more than made up for it. They've added so much content and free content that they've never charged as of December of 2023. I want to make sure if you watch this video like 10 years from now and they start charging, if they charge for DLC, I want to make sure everyone knows I was talking about December before that. But yeah, they haven't charged for it. And so, yeah, it feels like they feel so bad that they feel like they need to keep doing that. And it's like, okay, I mean, no, I would say I hope in their next game, whatever that happens to be, they ship it in a way better state. I think they've learned that lesson already anyway, but they're ready to go. They don't ship it too early. And I hope that if they add DLC or expansion packs or whatever, they charge a little bit. Because 7 years of not charging for anything gives you a little bit of leeway. I'm not saying they need to charge hundreds of dollars for, DLC. No. I'm not saying that at all. Wow. But what I am saying is to me, they've made up. And so it's like, okay. Normal games they charge, and I'm not, don't charge $100 or whatever. Sean, if you ever hear this, $100 for DLC is never justified. I don't care what it does, unless it's like giving me a new house in reality. No way you need to charge that much for DLC. But I mean, if they came out and said, look, we're gonna do updates for No Man's Sky once a year, they're gonna be massive updates, and we're gonna charge $5, whatever. Okay. I'm okay with that now because I've gotten more than enough. I think that anyone who's played the game or bought the game on launch day or any time between now and then, they've gotten their money's worth, I believe. I mean, in my opinion, my own view. I don't want to speak for everyone. I'm sure there's some guy out there who's shaking his fist at the sky saying, hey, they did not add in this one thing and Sean Murray said it. Okay. I mean, yeah, I get it. There's never going to be a perfect solution. Even if No Man's Sky launched back in 2016 like this, there's going to be that one guy who says, hey, that trailer in 2013, it had this. And it's like, well, I get it. You know what? Absolutely, you are correct. You are correct. But maybe we couldn't do it. And if I had to criticize Hello Games for anything, I would say their communication is a little bit lacking. And to be fair to Hello Games, I think it's not without reason. They were yelled at and screamed at in 2016 for months. Sean Murray was called a liar. he was a thief. He sold a lie. He took everyone's money. He gave us a game that was not finished. Blah blah blah. And so when you get yelled at for that long, because it wasn't just a day or two or a week, they were yelled at for months, probably close to a year, of people telling them how bad they were and how terrible they were. I would be afraid to say anything too. I'd be like, look, I'd rather not say anything. If you guys, I said this one thing in an interview and you guys put every sentence I say under a microscope, then I just won't say anything. If I don't say it, you guys can never, ever hold it against me. And that's not a good solution either. But, I mean, oh. So, yeah, I wish they would communicate more. Because I feel like if Sean Murray came out and said, look, guys, we had to delay the update this time because we ran into issues with the Switch version. Or we ran into issues with the Mac version. Or the PS4 version. It's just not running right. Or we just ran into issues in general. We have to push it back a little bit. Okay. At least it's something rather than us all gathering around and talking like, oh, what do you guys think it is? Do you guys think it's because they're abandoning No Man's Sky? They hate it. They're leaving. Do you think that they're gonna just they're working on their new game? What do you think? We're all just speculating because no one knows. None of us hears anything. I mean, I can't speak for all the other creators or anybody out there, but I know I don't hear from Hello Games. They're not emailing me or texting me or calling me. I don't get emails from Sean Murray. I don't know anything. I just go by what I hear and I see, and I read interviews. Whenever Sean Murray does an interview, I read it. I make sure to look into it and see what the heck is going on. So yeah, I wish they were a little bit more. And yeah, there's a balance. Don't do interviews on late night shows, Sean, and say, hey, this is what our game is, and we think it's the next big Grand Theft Auto. It's Minecraft, the next Minecraft. Maybe don't do that. But at least, you have a Twitter, you have a website, just put out updates on that. Say, hey, put out a blog and say, this is what we're planning. Put out a release thing or whatever, on Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. Hey, this is our roadmap. Maybe they're afraid to do that as well, because then they're like, hey, if we put out a roadmap and we fall behind schedule because the Mac version is taking longer to program for, people are going to hate us, and so we won't even do a roadmap. And yeah, so I don't know. Definitely another rambling episode, you guys. I don't know if you guys like these episodes, like if I ramble about stuff. You guys let me know down in those comments. Did I pick up something? Oh my god, I picked up a whole bunch of powder. Silicate powder. Let me know down in those comments. Do you like the rambly episodes? Would you rather me just talk about the game, like what's going on right now, like what my plan is? Let me get rid of that, pop this in there. There we go. I don't know. Because, I mean, at this point, I feel like I'm torn because I do a lot of, like, my brain goes into, I have to tell people about No Man's Sky. I have to teach people about No Man's Sky. All the time, because I've done it for so long, that's like where my brain goes automatically. Like, oh, this is what you have to do. You have to talk about No Man's Sky, like how to do this, how to do that. You're teaching people. But I feel like also at the same time, we're at a inflection point where most people who watch my channel now have played No Man's Sky, and you're all coming back for updates. Like, oh, what's new in the what's new? What do they add? Versus, hey, how do you use a terrain manipulator? Or how do you do life support shell? So I'm torn. I need you guys to tell me. Anybody who's watching 38 minutes in, or probably, probably 38 minutes in, let me know. Would you rather me just ramble on like this? My thoughts? Oh. Let's see. What is this? We still haven't had a guy land for us, and we have a lot. We have 1 million, 2 million, almost 3 million? 3 million bucks ready to go as soon as an outlaw trader lands. Come on, outlaws, talk to me. I feel like they don't land on bumpier or mountainous planets. But I don't know that for sure. I haven't actually sat down and tested that. I know probably Zane knows. Because Zane is always my go-to guy. Whenever I have a question, a deep question, like I know how most of No Man's Sky works in general. But if I want to know a detail, like, hey, what's the percentage on a scatter blaster when I have 3 upgrades and these are the upgrades. He'll be able to tell me, oh yeah, this is a percentage. Boom, done. Because Zane knows all that kind of stuff. It's crazy how much he has invested. And he spends, like, every time I see a Zane video, I get super impressed and a little bit intimidated because it's like, dude, he puts so much work. He, like, works on a video for, like, months and months to test every aspect of it, so he knows exactly if you do this and that, it will give you this result, and down to a percentage, and it's crazy. So yeah, he's my go-to guy whenever that happens. But I mean, I know for, you know, the generalities, I know when I do this, it'll do that, and what's a good way to do this. And I always like talking about it in the videos, even though I know you guys, whatever. There was I can't remember his name. There was a commenter, probably 2022, so last year, who was so tired of me telling you guys, hey, look, when you have your terrain manipulator, remember, if you're mining a resource, always go to the smallest orb because it gives you the most resources, and the larger one makes it go faster, but it gives you less resources. So only use the large one when you're like trying to, you know, like get around a cave or get down into the planet or whatever, but don't use it for resources like copper and stuff. Use the smallest one, that way it gives you the most copper. The guy was so mad. He was like, dude, I am tired of you saying that. Please stop telling us that. I was like, okay, I mean, I get that. I know I say it a lot. I just know that for me, I was like, my brain almost exploded when I was told that. When I realized that, and I was like, I checked and I was like, are you sure? What is, oh no, he saw me. Oh, sorry, guy. Sorry, sir, with no witnesses. No witnesses. I apologize. Sorry, it's not my choice. No witnesses. All right. Anyway, but yeah. So, and I went and I asked Zane. I was like, "Is this true?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." And I was like, "What?" And I mean, he knows the percentage. I know now. I know. Like before, I knew it just gave you more. Now I know that when you mine resources, it depends on how long you do it. So it's not. It doesn't depend on actually the size itself. So even though it's a smaller size, it doesn't really matter the size. It matters on how long it takes. So if it takes you 10 seconds to mine a resource, you get a set amount of resources from it. But if it only takes you 2, you get way less because it only takes you 2 seconds. And that's why the larger one gives you less, because it only takes you a little tiny, like a half a second to do it. Versus the little tiny one, it takes you way longer. So, and that's a weird aspect. Like, why would you, I would never have thought to connect it to size or to time rather than size. I would have thought, oh, a larger one has a larger area, so it would give you more. And a smaller one has a smaller area. That should give you less. Nope, complete opposite. And so that's why I always talk about that, because it just blows my mind. All right, well, we're going to hang out in this cave. I am going to actually call the episode there. Hopefully you guys like the episode. Again, let me know down in those comments. Do you like my ramblings, or would you rather me just stick to the game and tell you what I'm doing in the Fugitive Run? Let me know, and I will see you guys next time.